And here's what's happening at Utopia Farms today. There's really something radically wrong with little mister. He's removed the feeders from the back of the barn. The grass is really slowing down.
They're 8.5 inches. A little more space. But it was on the average, these sheep are in good shape. People would throw a ram on them. 1st of August, weather changes.
So let's get started. We don't often let the ewes and lambs out together, but this little paddock area was getting a little too tall for the few little lambs that came out here. So we thought for a few days the moms could come out too and maybe lure the younger lambs out here. And now we're trying to get little mister to join the group. And the gates are all open, everyone's out. And what's the first thing he does? He runs back in the barn. There's really something radically wrong with little mister. He is just not normal. He should see those sheep now. Don't do it, buddy. Hi, Spartacus. You already had your bottle. He seems to be joining them now. This is little Spartacus at the end. There they go. As you can see, there's lots of hay out here for this little straggler group. So Arnie got all the feeders done that he wanted to do in the heifer barn, and now he's removed the feeders from the back of the barn, and he's gonna do all the feeders back there. And to do that, it was easier for him in that barn to bring them all out here, where he has more room to maneuver around, and there was a lot more bedding pack and stuff in the other barn, so he couldn't work in there, and he couldn't get the tractor in there with the generator. So he's been removing all the little rods off the feeders, and tomorrow we're gonna go to town and pick up some new ones. These ones, he had to cut them off. As you can see right here, the ones in the other barn were tacked on such that he could actually remove them and put them back on, but these ones were not. So he's gonna buy a few more rods and just put all new ones on. These ones won't go to waste because, as you know, we're always building things, fixing things, and stuff like that. And I told him they would make a really cool hedgehog too. So who knows, maybe another lawn ornament in the future. But they're all out here. He's got them all cut away. He's left a few rods in there. They must have been at the right spacing so that he didn't have to remove them. And at the moment, he is removing the manure from where they were. This is the perfect opportunity to take the manure out, because usually he had those feeders act as a dividing wall as well as a feed trough, and with them all removed, that makes taking the manure out of this pen a lot easier, because this is an old dairy barn and there's upright posts that are also support posts that could never be removed. So this was the hardest barn for him to clean out because of all these posts. But now with the feeder gone, he has a lot more maneuverability. Boy, looks totally different. Looks kind of nice without all the feeders there.
Yeah, I don't even want the feeders back in.
Looks like a nice big room. Gives me ideas for our hobby flock in the future. So this fall, as you can see, we're gonna have like 100 tons of manure to get spread on the fields. At the back of the barn here, these are all the ewe lambs from that coverall there. A lot of them spent the afternoon laying outside in the shade, which we're always pleased to see because it's so rare that our sheep choose to sleep outdoors. But a few of the smarter ones have found this nice, cool, shady spot out here, close enough to home that they shouldn't be nervous. And in the farther field, you can see the rams are in their paddock and they're all laying under the willow tree. Well, if not laying, standing under the willow tree anyway. When one goes, they all have to go. So they'll go grab a snack and they'll probably go back to that shady spot and chew their cuds. Because this is an old dairy barn, now that the feeders are out and the manure is being removed, you can see that this barn, like the heifer barn over here, is mainly a concrete barn. The cows had concrete floors, and you can even see what's left of the gutters, which are mainly filled in with gravel, but they are, you can still see where the gutters were. So that makes this barn easier to clean out as far as scraping goes, but it also means it maintains a lot more moisture than the coveralls do with the gravel bases. Thought I'd check on the ram lambs. We haven't checked on the big boys lately. It's funny, even how we talk about the different breeds hang together. I'm even finding that the like Hannibal lambs that are more British hang out together, and the taller guys hang together. I thought we'd go see how the boys are doing at the willow tree here. I see they've done a fabulous job trimming the tree. You couldn't pay a person to trim it that well. It's nice and cool under the tree. Hi. Is this a better spot? Because Max came with me. The sheep aren't inclined to stay here. They don't like him staring them down the whole time. So they're off for a little graze as well. And look at the color of those feet. I'll tell you, that's not mud. He's been playing in the manure pile. we know which room he's not going to be in tonight. He sees Max. Safety in numbers. He didn't like being on his own. Since it's August now, you can really see the difference in the pasture regrowth. Even with the warm, wet conditions we've been having, the grass is really slowing down. And I imagine we're going to have to maybe pull them off for a little while to let it regrow. Because if we don't, not only do they damage the pasture, but they also will start picking up parasites. The same goes for the pasture with the ewes. This is a really big pasture, but it's pretty well played out now too. These girls are going into breeding groups in a few weeks, so they'll be okay, and at that point the paddocks will be rested, and as they start growing back, the small groups of sheep like the ewe lambs and stuff that we keep back and the ram lambs, just they will be on these paddocks, and that should be enough for them until the snow flies. But with the large numbers of sheep we have grazing right now, the pastures aren't growing up quickly enough. The only smart one right now is Max. He's the one standing watching from the shade of the willow tree. Oh, he heard me talking. You're a good boy. Even if you are manure covered. And there's the girls out in the front paddock. We got a few Suffolks lying by the barn here in the shade. Outside the barn, good girls. I don't like it when cars go by on the road. Here's a mom who's had enough of the heat out here. She's got her 2 lambs with her, and she's heading back for the barn. Hi, you guys. Hi. Just a few left out here, and I'm glad to say that little mister is one of them. Mind you, he was in the barn. I did have to chase him out here.
So, another job done. We spaced them all out. That's actually a little bit of a bigger space right there. I don't think it'll be a problem. Well, I wonder if I should fix that for a second. Yeah, I might fix that spot. It's about 1.5 inches wider than it should be. Anyways, got this all done, double checked them all. Oh, gotta take that bar out of there too. Yeah. Yeah, so I put this bar in. That bar's gotta come out. So, yeah, why it's a little bit confusing is this bar is the original bar, never been moved. And I put another bar back in. So it's a little bit mismatch, but it'll work quite well. And make sure there's no hot spots here for anything burning, hopefully. I'll be here for a while. So I got this all done. The other side's not done. I'm not going to do the other side. So you can see the difference there compared to there. We made them quite a bit wider. These are 7 inches center, maybe even a touch less than 7 inches. And I don't recommend that. So these are 8.5 inches. A little more space. So I was just double checking everything. I'm going to clean everything up. I'm going to cut that one bar out. I might take a quick look at that if I'm going to put a bar in there. I'm thinking while I'm here, I probably should fix that. But in other words, everything else looks fine. It's a little hard to weld on that dirty old rusty tubing because if you don't scrape it right down to the bare metal and have any debris left, it doesn't weld very nice. And I'm not a welder. I'm just a bubblegum welder. So I'm just dabbing away at it. But anyways, looks good. This is my old welder from the shop. So that's our generator that runs the farm. So that generator is 34 kilowatts. And I can plug the welder right into the generator. So then I have power to run the welder. And the welder fits right on the back of that pretty good. So that's how we do it if we're in a pinch. Most of the stuff I bring right to the shop to weld. But then since I couldn't take this out of the barn, we had to weld this in the barn. And those sheep over there in the corner don't like it too much. Anyways, I'm done this. Dirty job. Glad to be done. And looking forward to getting this tractor out of here today. And I'll keep my eye if there's any hot spots, which I don't. I was real careful with the water and everything. There should be no problem. But I'll be here for several hours. And to see if there's any problems. And we're going to move on. So these are all the misfits we let out today. And their babies. Couple there by the barn. This is only about probably about 1.5 acres here. It's a little yard we have, and we put the misfits out with their little babies, and they can wander here for a couple weeks. And shortly we got to wean them off from their mothers. So they're loving the fresh grass, no humidity, beautiful night. It's not too often we put the lambs with the mothers. We find the mothers give the little lambs the parasites. Maybe not true, but this is an exception of the rule, I should say it. I'm not pronouncing that correctly. So it's a beautiful night tonight. I'm working on some feeders again today. We're going to town tomorrow to get some 1/2-inch rods. And then Lynn's gave me some fantastic ideas about this little deck right here. And we're going to do it up and sit on it by ourselves with no friends. I'm just kidding. We're going to do some work on this deck. Oh, there they go running in right now. Anyways, it's a beautiful night. What are you doing, Max? Hey? What's going on, big boy? Hey? Nice night, eh? Not too hot? We're just doing chores tonight. I gotta feed these guys. Hey, bud. Hey, buddies. Hey. Just did this barn here. It's a little bit sticky, but it's not too bad actually tonight. So we're just cleaning up here tonight. And I'm done this barn here. I gotta feed another barn. And we've been doing some welding today, fixing some mangers, getting ready for the breeding groups. So this is the breeding group. We're they have alfalfa hay at night, wet hay, and they get there's 200 sheep easily in this group. They're only getting 35 pounds of grain morning and night. So I'm just flushing them a little bit, and the reason why I'm doing that only a little bit, because they're actually in fantastic shape, and I don't think there's any advantage of me feeding them any more grain. So they do have the fresh grass out in the field. We've had lots of rain, so there's lots of fresh grass. And especially the Dorsets. The Dorsets have got a lot of weight on them. So I definitely don't want to put any, get the Dorsets too fat. Because Dorsets will prolapse if they're fed too hard, I find. But in other words, the ewes are in really good shape. Gave them some new straw today, so they're all dry. And like I said, we're just flushing them a little bit. I might flush them a little bit harder once we get close to the ram. There's a suffix there that's not that good a shape. But it could be a number of reasons. Could be an old sheep. There's a few real old sheep in here. We probably shouldn't keep them. But otherwise, on the average, these sheep are in good shape. I'm just looking at the hips on them, the backbone. There's a suffix right there, with a little bit of bone showing, a little bit. But some of these sheep had lambs late, so. My bad. And I think this is the third week for the Dorsets since they've been showing off when they were quite poor shape. But they've actually rebounded quite well. There's still a few Dorsets that are still not in really great shape. But we'll just hand them off until the last breeding group and let them have lots of time to build the flesh back. But they responded quite well. They all got nice and full bellies, and they're eating second cut alfalfa, grass hay. And this has only been the third week, so about 2.5 weeks. And I would guess 2.5 weeks. I would guess those Dorsets, they easily gain 30 pounds of body weight. So see that one there? Good shape. I mean, you don't want sheep, you don't want them fat, but they should be in good shape that they flush out some eggs. And so pretty happy with this. So I'm going to keep going. Oh. These are all ewe lambs, or there's Hobby. Yeah. So yeah, some of these ewes broke out and got in with the adults, and I had a pretty hard time picking them out, but these had wool on them, so that's how I could pick them out. You know, they're quite large. So these guys were born January, February, most of them. And I'm thinking most people would throw a ram on them in December, January, which they would do fine. We're still selling a few of these, so we're probably not going to go down that route because we're not that desperate to have to make money off them right away. So more than likely, we're going to take our group and just winter them for the winter, and they'll be bred next August. Yeah, some people, I know what people are going to say if they watch that. They're going to say, "Gee, Arnie, that's not too profitable." But at my age, it's not about the profit. It's about the quality of sheep, and it's what we love to do. So, but yeah, a lot of these are for sale, and they can easily be bred in December easily, and you can have a crop of lambs in the spring. So, done this barn right here. 4 big Suffolks right there.
So just to qualify why we don't actually breed our January and February ewe lambs, the primary reason is that we don't want to have spring/summer lambs. It has nothing to do with their age. If they were breeding in the fall or early winter, they would have no problem having lambs. But as you can see by our videos lately, this is our extremely busy time of year and we don't have time to be lambing. Not only that, the weather is warmer, flies are more prevalent, and what happens is the lambs don't do as well because of the hot conditions, which we've described in previous videos. So that's the main reason we don't breed these ewes and we wait till the following fall.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, they were the little marsh lambs, but they actually done quite well. The little Dorsets. Yeah, so that's a nice little sheep right there. That's the ones we held back. So, anyways, better get moving. Go to the house, get cleaned up because I was welding today, so kind of a dirty job. Wasn't very good ventilation there, and it was dark, so it was hard to see my welding. But I'm done today anyhow. And there's one thing I always say. 1st of August, weather changes. So yeah, it's weather, and you'll find the hay, a 3rd cut's got a good value, but it's going to have a little bit more water in it, and it won't be as good as you think it is, but it's extremely soft hay. That's 3rd cut. Anything after August, lack of sun, the hay probably doesn't hold the same value, but it'll still be great feed. We still have a little more 2nd cut take off. I'm hoping to start cutting on Wednesday, and today's Monday. So talk to you tomorrow. Subscribe, have a good day, and support the channel, please. Thank you very much.